Jarrod Schulz vanished from Storage Wars without a trace. For over a decade, he and Brandi Passante were the show's golden couple, the young guns who turned abandoned storage units into small fortunes. Millions watched them bid, bicker, and build an empire together. Then, after 13 seasons, Jarrod just disappeared. No farewell episode, no explanation, nothing. Brandi stayed, but he was gone. What happened behind the scenes was darker than anyone imagined. The truth involves legal troubles, accusations that shook the entire production, and a fall from grace that nobody saw coming. When Storage Wars premiered in 2010, Jarrod was only 33 years old. He and Brandi were dubbed the Young Guns because they were decades younger than the other bidders. While veterans like Dave Hester and Barry Weiss had been in the game for years, Jarrod and Brandi were the scrappy underdogs trying to make it work. They owned the Now and Then thrift store, and every unit they won was a gamble that could make or break their business. Viewers loved watching them turn trash into cash, and their chemistry was undeniable. Their success led to a spin-off in 2014 called Brandi and Jarrod, Married to the Job. 8 episodes gave fans an inside look at their lives beyond the auctions. They were expanding, opening a second location in Long Beach, and it seemed like nothing could stop them. The cameras captured their hustle, their wins, and yes, their constant arguments. But here's the thing, those arguments weren't just for TV. Looking back, the signs were always there. Jarrod had an aggressive edge on camera, often shutting Brandi down or dismissing her opinions during bids. He'd get loud, assertive, almost domineering. Fans thought it was just his competitive nature, but it was more than that. Behind the scenes, cracks were forming. The Long Beach store never turned a profit and closed in 2016. The financial pressure was mounting, and their relationship was crumbling under the weight. But they kept it hidden. They kept showing up to auctions, kept filming, kept pretending everything was fine. What viewers didn't know was that the couple everyone loved was already falling apart. November 2018. That's when Jarrod and Brandi actually broke up. But nobody knew. Not the fans, not the public, not even most of the Storage Wars crew. They kept their separation completely under wraps for over 2 years. Season 12 filmed with them technically together, but by the time it aired, they were done. They continued showing up to the same auctions, bidding on the same units, but the warmth was gone. If you go back and watch those episodes now, you can see it. The distance, the cold shoulders, the way they barely acknowledged each other. Storage Wars went on hiatus after Season 12, disappearing from screens for nearly 2 years. When it finally returned in April 2021 with Season 13, everything changed. In the premiere episode, Brandi dropped the bomb. "I'm not with Jarrod anymore," she said on camera. Just like that, the truth was out. They'd been broken up since 2018, living separate lives while still working together. The revelation stunned fans who had no idea anything was wrong. Jarrod appeared briefly in Season 13, but the tension was impossible to ignore. They bid separately, spoke only when necessary, and the whole dynamic felt wrong. In one scene, Brandi called him an idiot for overpaying on a unit. In another, she had her friend Mary bid on her behalf just to avoid interacting with him directly. It was uncomfortable television, and everyone could feel it. Later, Brandi opened up about why she left. She said she wasn't allowed to have an identity for many years, that she'd lost herself in the relationship. The woman who'd been half of the Young Guns was finally finding out who she was alone. But the worst was still to come. April 30, 2021. Brandi was out with friends at a bar in Orange County, just trying to have a normal night. Then Jarrod walked in. What happened next would end his television career and destroy whatever was left of their relationship. According to reports, things got heated fast. Brandi asked him to leave. He refused. The argument escalated. Voices got louder, and then it turned physical. Witnesses said Jarrod pushed Brandi twice while yelling at her and her friends. By the time police arrived, he was already gone. A police report was filed, and days later, officers tracked down Jarrod for questioning. He denied everything, claiming he never put his hands on Brandi. But the Orange County District Attorney's Office didn't buy it. On May 16, 2021, Jarrod was officially charged with 1 count of misdemeanor domestic violence battery. The news broke publicly, and the fallout was immediate. A&E launched an investigation the moment the story went public. Sources close to the production said the network had no idea about the charges until TMZ broke the story. Jarrod happened to be off the filming schedule that week, but insiders made it clear he wouldn't be coming back until the investigation wrapped. Except he never did come back. The investigation concluded, but A&E never made an official statement. They didn't fire him publicly, didn't address it on the show, just quietly removed him from the cast. Season 13 was Jarrod's last appearance. Brandi continued bidding, continued building her Storage Wars legacy, but Jarrod was done. The man who'd been there since day one, who helped make the show what it was, disappeared without a word. And that wasn't even his only legal problem. The bar incident wasn't Jarrod's first brush with the law. In July 2019, he'd been charged with resisting an officer after an incident in Lake Forest, California. Details about that case remained murky, but it was another mark on his record. Then came October 5, 2021, just months after the domestic violence charge, and Jarrod was hit with a DUI. His blood alcohol content was over the legal limit, and now he was facing 3 separate criminal charges. Court records showed all 3 cases were still open and got combined into one legal mess. A jury trial was scheduled for June 20, 2023, but then it got pushed back to July. The battery charge was slightly modified, and both the DUI and resisting arrest cases were set for pre-trial hearings on July 24, 2023. After that, silence. No public records of the outcomes, no news updates, no statements from Jarrod or his legal team. It's like the cases vanished into thin air. What's clear is that these legal issues buried any chance of a comeback. Whether he was convicted, took a plea deal, or had charges dropped, the damage was done. His reputation was destroyed. His career was over, and A&E wanted nothing to do with him. The network never had to officially fire him because he just stopped existing in the Storage Wars universe. Season 14 premiered without him. Season 15 came and went, and by Season 16 in 2025, it was like he'd never been part of the show at all. For someone who'd been a reality TV staple for over a decade, the silence was deafening. Jarrod had gone from fan favorite to completely erased, and he had nobody to blame but himself. While Jarrod faded into obscurity, Brandi did the opposite. She kept working, kept showing up, and kept building her life without him. In 2021, she moved on with Clifford Beaver, a bar owner from the same area. The two seemed genuinely happy together, posting sweet tributes and photos on social media. Clifford even called her his ride or die in a birthday post, praising her for everything she does. It was the kind of relationship Brandi never seemed to have with Jarrod. Supportive, warm, and equal. Then came the tattoo. On October 3, 2021, Brandi posted a photo of her new ink, the word free, with a bird flying away from the second E. The caption hit hard. She wrote about escaping a difficult situation that so many people fall victim to, about living without fear, and about the empathy and grace she gained from what she endured. She didn't name Jarrod directly, but everyone knew. That tattoo was a declaration of independence, a message to the world that she was done being controlled. Brandi also stayed on Storage Wars. She returned for Season 15 in 2023 and was back again for Season 16 in 2025. The show even shifted to a new 1-hour format, giving her more screen time and showcasing her strategies without Jarrod's shadow hanging over her. She's a single mom raising her 2 kids, Cameron and Peyton, mostly on her own. In a 2020 interview, she admitted she navigates parenting 24/7 and does most of it alone. The scary dad voice in the background? That's missing, she said. Brandi's story became one of survival and reinvention. She escaped, she healed, and she's thriving. Jarrod's story? That went a very different direction. In March 2025, Jarrod made a move that shocked everyone. He posted on Facebook, tagging Storage Wars directly, and wrote, "I was thinking it's time for Storage Wars on A&E to ask me back for the new season. It just is not the same without me." The audacity was stunning. After years of silence, after the legal troubles, after everything that went down with Brandi, he actually thought he deserved another shot. He wasn't asking, he was demanding. The comment section turned into a battleground. Some fans agreed, saying the show wasn't the same without the original cast members. Others were furious, pointing out that his behavior toward Brandi made him unworthy of a return. One commenter wrote, "The OG is the best, would welcome you back." Another fired back, "I liked it better without Jarrod and Brandi, much better with the newer cast." The reactions were split, but one thing was clear. Jarrod believed he was still relevant. Here's reality. Storage Wars doesn't need him. Season 16 premiered in June 2025, with Dave Hester returning after years away. The show adapted, brought in new buyers, and kept going without Jarrod. A&E never responded to his Facebook plea, never acknowledged it, never gave him the attention he was clearly craving. The network had moved on, and so had most of the audience. Jarrod's demand for a comeback wasn't just tone-deaf, it showed how disconnected he was from reality. He seemed to think his absence hurt the show, that fans were waiting for his return. that he still mattered, but the truth is, Storage Wars survived just fine without him. Brandi thrived, the ratings held steady, and nobody was begging for Jarrod Schulz to come back. Jarrod Schulz went from reality TV fame to complete obscurity in just a few years. He was part of Storage Wars since the very beginning, one of the faces that made the show a hit. He had a spin-off, a clothing line, multiple businesses, and a partner who built an empire with him. Then he lost it all. The relationship fell apart, the legal troubles piled up, and the television career that defined him disappeared overnight. Now he's a bar owner in Lake Forest, avoiding the spotlight and staying silent while the world moves on without him. What's wild is how differently things turned out for him and Brandi. She rebuilt her life, found happiness, and stayed relevant. He isolated himself, burned bridges, and became irrelevant. The allegations against him destroyed his reputation, and whether those charges were resolved or not, the damage was permanent. A&E didn't need to publicly fire him, they just stopped calling. That might hurt worse than any official termination. The Rush Bar and Grill is apparently still operating, so Jarrod has something. He's reportedly still with Rochelle Beckman, so he's not alone, but his days of being a household name are over. The guy who once demanded the spotlight now hides from it completely. His last Instagram post was years ago. His comeback attempt was ignored. The empire he built with Brandi crumbled, and he has nobody to blame but himself. Storage Wars continues without him, and honestly nobody's complaining. Brandi's thriving, the show's evolving, and Jarrod Schulz is exactly where his choices left him forgotten. That's what actually happened to Jarrod Schulz from Storage Wars. He destroyed everything, and there's no coming back from that.